Hi, and welcome to the replay viewers. Thanks to those of you joining live. Hi, Cupcakes of CLT. If you can tell me your name in the chat, that would be awesome. Thank you for joining. Hi, welcome everybody. Karen, how awesome to see you guys. I'm going to flip this around already. Hi, Patrice. Oh, you guys with the hearts already. How wonderful. All right, let's see here. I'm indoors, of course. Weather is just not going to cooperate. Every time I go to step outside there to scope, I see that it's raining or starting to rain. Marcy from Syracuse. Are you from Syracuse? We have to meet. Oh my goodness, definitely. There's a big event too coming up this week. Gosh, I think October 1st with Women Ties. So if you're in the area, I really have to register. Yeah, if you're not going to that, look it up. Women Ties in Syracuse. Tracy Higginbotham, she's awesome. It's the Women Ties annual retreat. Hi, Joe. So good to see you. Thanks for joining, everybody. Yeah, great. DM me on Twitter if you want to do that, Marcy, and I'll give you some more information. But it's over at Welch Allen in Skinny Atlas Thursday. Good morning. Okay, I'm talking about humor. Oh, you took a screenshot. My hair's not even good. Okay, let me see here. I am Deb Coleman of debcoleman.com, and I am a writer, editor, and communication strategist. Thank you so much for inviting followers, Joe and Marcy, and tweeting it out and giving hearts. That's so nice of you guys. I am Hi Two Marks. You just learned how to do that. Oh yeah, yeah. I know, isn't it great to be able to take a screenshot? I mean, it definitely helps. And then we let the new app update lets the broadcaster know when you've taken a screenshot. If anyone's wondering, that's what the little camera is. Hi, Wanda, floating up on the side there with the hearts. If you see any cameras, it's because someone took a screenshot. Nothing much to look at here today, though, folks, but I am going to share today about using humor in your writing, and it's because it came from one of the viewers, and I'm not sure, I don't know exactly who it was. I have to go back and look. Asked that question when I was scoping about writing. I think it was just yesterday. And so a couple things. I just want to illustrate, at least for me and my feeling about Periscope, is that it is more about the viewers than it is about what I want to share. So it's great to have ideas and topics and even a list to work from. But you use humor all the time, Joe. Yeah, I'm sure you do. I got to get some of your stuff, definitely. I just love your humor that comes across in your scopes, too. And the thing about using Periscope for me versus for the people who tune into me is it's, in my opinion, it's two very different things. And if I really want to make the most of it, I want to respond to people's questions. I want them to help me develop the topics and to know what's important to you. Because I can come and talk about something that no one has any issue with, or maybe you do even better than I do. So why would you tune in to listen to that? I mean, maybe just because you're nice and you like me, that would be great. But it's really about value and delivering. So the same that's true for business in real life should be true for business on Periscope, in my opinion. Hi, Alicia. It's so good to see you again. Thanks for joining. Oh, you guys are so great. Okay, so let me get to it. In my title, I said humor, how to use humor in writing. And I'm not going to, try to come off as an expert here in this area, but I do want to share my perspective and just invite you to look at your own. The question was asked, should you use humor or how do you use it in your writing? And I think it really depends. As everything, it depends on your reader. And as writers, we should always be considering our reader, again, just like in business. What is it that they want to hear from us? How do we think they're going to respond to humor? Again, it should be a two-way street, even across the page and across the internet, as well as on Periscope. It's a two-way process. Different humor between countries, absolutely. Joe, over in the UK, I believe, right? You need to bear in mind where you're publishing, absolutely. And I like to think of it as also have a sense of where your humor hits in real life. Do people get you? Number one. And do you care if they get you? Because maybe they don't get you, but that's just fine with you. So then, by all means, if you feel that way about your readership, then go for it and write the way you speak and talk and use humor the way you do in real life. If, however, you're trying to reach a certain target, can you use humor in a cookbook? I think you can use it anywhere you want. And UK and the USA does have a different sense of humor, definitely, as do individuals, all right? We're all different. So hi, Melody, thanks for joining. It's important to know, again, who your reader is and how they're going to respond to your humor and what's the context. Obviously, if you're talking about something very somber or difficult or a challenge for people, consider your humor. It may lighten the situation up, absolutely, or the humor could really be offensive to people. So that those are some of my cautions. Is take care with sarcasm. I love sarcasm. I come from a family that uses a lot of sarcasm, but we do have to be careful with that, and you do have to know how people receive that. Some say that sarcasm, why am I having trouble saying that? Sarcasm is anger masked in humor. So that's kind of a toughie. But it is believed by some that sarcasm is anger masked in humor. Yeah, I know, really. And I don't know if you believe that or not, but I believed it when I heard it, or that it can be. So it's important to know, again, why it's being used, how it's being used, and do you care how it's falling on the reader's ears, right? And so I would be cautious with sarcasm, and I would be cautious with, she would call someone Mike Hawk in the UK. That's not funny. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. You do. You have to know your audience. The other thing I think is just to consider anything that might be offensive in general. And sometimes we think things that, you know, could be offensive are funny, and that's fine in certain circles. But when we're putting something out there online or something out there related to our business, we need to think about whether we care how it gets received. And if we're going to alienate people or offend people, you know, what's the greater good? What is it that we really want to achieve? Is it getting our humor out, or is it meeting a need for our reader? Okay. Yeah, Joe, absolutely. I mean, you really need to know your audience. And when you're dealing internationally, you have to take that into consideration too. We all know that about how the spelling or different ways to spell based on where you're writing or where your readers are. So that's true of humor too. However, if humor is part of your personality, it's nice to interject that into our writing. Online is a global audience. Yeah, not all humor translates. It's okay to use it though. I just think you have to be cognizant of how, when, and where you're using it. And try multiple accents until you worked it out. Yeah. Joe has a great business. People should follow her if you're not already. Red Herring Games. Joe, maybe you'll come up again. Has a business, and I'm probably not even going to do this the justice that it so well deserves, but murder mystery games that can be, yeah, really, made to order. I mean, it just sounds fabulous with recordings. I mean, it can be as simple or as complex and individualized as you want. So sorry to digress, but I really do think that people should follow Joe. There she is. And she just gives great scopes that are real, and it's about her. And Joe, you use humor in your scopes too, which I love because it's who we are. I mean, for some of us, it's who we are. But I do definitely use a little care in my writing when I revert to humor. Yeah, Joe is incredible. You really do have to follow her. So please look for her in this scope, as well as other people here, because those that support me are really generally awesome people, and I would love it if you supported each of them too. So any other questions about using humor? I'm looking at my little side notes over here. Yeah, please don't be hurtful with your humor. I mean, I think that, you know, things that are offensive can really wreak havoc with your business if you're not careful. My orthodontist recommended you. That's awesome. Oh my goodness, that's way too funny. So decide if humor is going to hinder or help your situation. I know. I don't get fillings versus murder mysteries, but who knows, Joe, maybe there's a connection there that we just don't see. Um, and interject your humor where needed, and also maybe just experiment with a little bit. If you have your own blog, try using some humor, see what you get. You want people to engage with you. So if humor creates more engagement, that's awesome. If it hinders it, you should be careful. The other thing about it is it can mess with your SEO if you care about that. I don't believe in pointed, offensive, hurting disguised as humor. Yeah, absolutely. You really have to be careful, I think, not to offend. And sometimes we do think something's funny, but it's really might be at someone else's expense, and I don't really go for that, at least personally. So I would just caution people about that. And the other thing is, we all can do whatever we want to do with it. Just be prepared for whatever the repercussions might be. It isn't funny if it's offensive. I don't think so either. And certainly if it's picking on people or certain groups or whatever, actually it's just, to me, it's usually not that funny. But to each their own, and different audiences might find humor in something like that, and that's just for each of us to take a look at. But I guess my point in scoping today was to say not to discount humor completely as if it has no place in our writing or in our business, because it certainly does if we talk that way. And I encourage people to write the way they converse. So if you converse using humor, why wouldn't you write using some humor too? Just be aware of how you're doing it. Thanks so much for sharing, Nicole. I appreciate it. And for tweeting it out. That's really nice of you. So what other questions or thoughts do you guys have related to using humor with your writing? Do you use it? And well, I'm waiting just to see if anyone wants to hear permission to use humor. Yeah, I know. I do think it's good and just to know or have a sense of how it's going to fall with your readers when you're doing it. Or test it out a little bit. Start lightly, The thing about some humor, if it's way too individualized, people might not get it, and they might miss your real message. Did I see the article on reading versus listening versus writing and which parts of the brain operate? No, but I would love it if you sent it to me, and any of you who are following me, I will share that. Joe, if you don't mind, you can tweet it to me or something. I don't know if we're connected through email, but everyone can find me if you would like to at debcoleman.com. I don't have my cards handy as usual. Yeah, I do love humor too. Humor versus spoken humor might be different. Yes, absolutely. As with all of our writing, the tone can get lost and the nature of it can get lost. It's more reflecting of life's shared experience or finding that moment of lightness. Yeah, and that's a great point, that lightness is can be a nuance of humor. People need to laugh more and love humor. I know. So I don't remember if you might be the person who asked me this the other day about using it in their writing. I'm sorry, I meant to go back and look and see who that was. But I encourage you to play with it a little bit, right? Our writing should be fun. So give it a try, see what happens. Yeah, life is too heavy. And we can make our writing light and interject a little humor. I find a funny book I love reading isn't as funny when I listen on the talking book version. Oh yeah, I know. I can see that because as we read, we take it in ourselves. I'm sure that's what your article is about, Joe, that you found. So I'd love to see that. And if people would like to follow me, you can find me across all social media at Deb Coleman or Deb Coleman Writing. Most of it is Deb Coleman Writing, and I'm on Facebook and everywhere. And I'll post that article if Joe, I'll reach out to you, Joe, and get that. And it would be great. It might spark some more discussion for us. So thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you'll stay connected and follow me by swiping and clicking on my profile. If you're interested in more tips and strategies about writing, editing, and getting your message out into the world. And, I think I'm also going to scope about, oh yeah, if you can. All right, I'll try to look too. Thank you so much for following. I'm going to be talking too about labels. I have a background in mental health, and I have always have noticed and been kind of sensitive to people's use of labels when they probably don't even realize that they're doing that. And I just want to share on that a little bit. So I'll be doing that later today. It's the second time on your scope. Oh, thank you so much, Jason. The scented bean candles, I think, right? Oh, I can see your picture there. And I saw the candles online. Maybe you're a fellow Tag Tribe person. I think you might be. Oh, labels. I'm going to talk about that in a future scope. Actually, maybe a little bit later today. And for us to just be conscientious, yeah, labels of people and of conditions and things like that. And I really, as a writer and an editor, I really believe that words matter. And sometimes we don't mean to be offensive or hurtful with our words, but we can be. So I just want to draw a little attention to that, and stay tuned a little bit later. Hi, Sam. So good to see you. If you guys are tuning in late, remove baby before washing. Love that one. Yeah. Yes. Awesome Tag Tribe people here. If you're not in Tag Tribes, thank you so much. Go to tagtribes.media and consider joining us for free. It's a great community started by Mark Shaw. He is, I believe, the #1 Twitter trainer in the UK. And he's awesome when it comes to Periscope and business in general, and really worth following, very inspirational. And the community he's created has really been terrific, and I'm really proud to be a part of it. I help administer the Facebook group for him, or with several other wonderful people. So thank you so much for listening today. Stay tuned. I'll tweet it out maybe before we do it. Awesome. Oh, your bio. I know. Reach out to me. I'm happy to answer any questions, Alicia, if you want any help with that or suggestions. And people can do that. You guys are awesome. And I will scope about the topics that you give me, and we'll continue the conversation. And if you're scoping, I want to be there. So please let me know. Did I see the mistranslation of a Welsh sign? No. Oh, labels remind you. I haven't. Joe, I got to tune into you and see what you're up to these days. I've missed watching your scopes. Anyone out there who's not broadcasting, I really encourage you to press play and do it. Alicia, how to reach out. You can find me at debcoleman.com. Here you can contact me through my contact form on there. You'll find all my social media links on Periscope. Yeah, Periscope is harder to do, but as you know, it's linked to Twitter. So if you can tweet it out to me, or you can send me a direct message on Twitter, or find me on any of the social media, I'm happy to respond to any of your questions or help with your bio. And yeah, COMAN. See it right here? I hope it's not backwards, but DEBCOM.com. Instagram, yeah, I'm kind of everywhere. I don't know. I love social media because I love the connection. And I'm blabbing way too long right now, so I think we'll end it. But tune in later if you want to talk about labels or hear my view about labels, and hopefully just raise some awareness out in the world. And we certainly don't want anyone to feel badly when they use labels without meaning to be hurtful. But there are ways to do it. Well, really, basically to not use them, I guess, is really what it comes down to. Okay, reach out to me any way you want, and I'll look forward to it. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks for watching the replay if you were here, and I hope you'll consider following for more tips and strategies about writing, editing, and life in general. Thank you so much. You have a great day, too. Take care. Bye-bye, everybody.